Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Paradise nuts. I just say it. Just put it out there.
Well, Freddie, that was Paradise nuts.
Paradise nuts.
Put these nuts out there.
So nuts.com, right? Kelly, you use nuts.com. This is not an ad. It's just funny that I was thinking like their ads say like since 1836 or something.
I do use nuts.com and it is it's great.
1830? Is that when they discovered nuts?
But I'm like, nuts.com.
That's when they discovered nuts were discovered.
It's like 1836? Nuts.com?
Nuts.com.
That's the problem I'm having. Like, I mean, I'm stoned out of my mind, but still.
They were ahead of their time.
They were pioneers, both physically in terms of geography and also entrepreneurially.
Did they use the Pony Express? Like, you think to deliver?
They had to log on to the Pony Express to make your order.
.com.
They send you your nuts.
I think the .com probably didn't show up in the business name till later.
So does that even fair to claim
nuts?
then? It was just nuts then.
Well, I think you should be allowed to rename your company and still it be the same company.
I guess.
It's your DBA.
When I worked for a company called Vitronic, they talked about being around for 90 years. But the company was Four Seasons, and Vitronic was like what they changed part of their name to.
It was not Four Seasons, the hotel, but this is like the luxury
landscaping.
They're not the landscaping either, right? These are the ones that made fancy grills and stuff, right?
No, that was Front Gate. This was for promotional, like business promotional products.
Oh, okay. So like we were around back when the Klan wanted promotion. We made the little when they resurged after Birth of a Nation, we were part of that limited edition robe set.
Keychains, yeah, you get your Birth of a Nation umbrellas.
Yeah, I like Ike.
You know, speaking of promotional items, Freddie had to order and purchase a wiping wand.
I have a wiping wand. Thank you, Shayna, for the advice.
And it's working out great.
It is.
Have you got doo-doo on it yet?
No, I have not.
It's doo-doo free.
It came with.
In case anyone's behind, it was two things.
Okay.
If this is your first episode of Knives Living Podcast, I know you feel like you've stumbled into a quagmire. But we usually talk about horror, sci-fi, fantasy movies. We're doing parodies of those movies. We're going to be talking about Young Frankenstein later. It's part of a series. We've done two others about student bodies and Galaxy Quest, and we're wrapping it up because the winner didn't respond in time, so we went with the surefire great, a ringer. I think
a ringer.
It is
a ringer. Although it's ironic because I just had I had my rotator cuff repaired on Friday, and it's Monday now, and I'm still on meds and stuff, so I'm a little woo. But I feel like
I think listeners will notice.
I feel like Frankenstein.
You do?
It's the closest I've ever felt to being Frankenstein's monster is right now in my whole life.
In terms of, do you have other body parts in you?
Well, I have two plastic anchors they drilled into my bone, and then they cut my bicep and pinned that down.
Are you afraid of fire?
So you're more like Plastic Stein.
I'm like Plastic Stein. I'm kind of like Stretch Armstrong. Without the flexibility. Like a stiff, frozen. You ever freeze a Stretch Armstrong? You can do that.
Yeah.
Remember those toys?
Well, what happened?
You can freeze them and then you can break them.
Oh,
That's
really?
my understanding, yeah. I never broke him, but I did freeze one once. He does not stretch.
So,
I don't know why I thought of that.
hence the wiping wand, because his one arm is immobilized for weeks.
Yeah.
So, the wiping wand came with a promotional item with their little logo on it, and it was a keychain.
That was both a bottle opener and a nail trimmer.
Oh, how handy.
But did it also say wiping wand on it?
No.
Somewhere?
No,
Oh,
it's
that's
just
good.
the company name, which was nice. But
it's called wiping wand?
no,
I mean, the wand is basically this rubber.
it's what it is.
It's a big rubber finger, essentially, that's curved. It's like, imagine a 3-foot long rubber finger that has a
It's not what it does, it's who it is.
Yeah.
I thought it was like nuts.com, like wipingwand.com. It's like, it's
I
very
also
obvious
got it
of
through
what they sell.
nuts.com,
It's
so.
obvious what they sell.
This is for cleaning around your nuts.com.
Okay, so what's the process like?
The process is you take
you,
toilet
like-
paper. I'm sorry, Andy.
Yeah.
Did you
No,
have?
do you like how does it? Do you fold with the toilet paper? Or is it like a wad?
You kind of wrap it around. It has a little pinchy thing that holds it. Have you used one of these, Kelley? You're nodding.
No.
Okay.
You were nodding.
No, I'm not.
yeah.
I'm nodding like, oh, okay.
And then you stand up kind of, and you jam that giant finger between your legs, and you wipe.
Oh, so you go under.
You go under. Yeah, it's a kind of like a.
It's post bidet.
Luckily we have. I can't imagine if I didn't have a.
This feels like it would
bidet and I had
require
to do
some
this-
practice.
It did take some
Yeah.
practice. I tried it when I had
Yeah.
both hands. Thanks again, Shayna, who is an occupational therapist. Shayna, who listens to the show, who's a good friend who looked out for me in this. And she's like, hey, you know what? You got to take some time with that butthole before that one arm is strapped up. And I
Yeah.
was like, really? She goes, you'll thank me later. I'm doing it now. Thank you, Shayna. I took some time. I learned
Did you
the
ac-
ropes.
Did you like the first time? Did you actually poke your butthole and
No.
it hurt?
No, I don't think you could hurt yourself with this thing. I mean, you could.
Oh,
but
you could.
I mean, like, you'd have to try.
If you wanted to.
I mean,
The problem I
humans
had,
are pretty adaptable, so we
It
can
was-
do anything.
ejecting the toilet paper.
Ah,
The first time was the tough part.
Is there like a
Yeah.
button you have to press?
Yeah, you press the spring button, load button on the bottom. And when they say eject, you think, wow, it's just going to fire the toilet paper off into the toilet.
fire.
It just releases the little pinch. So then if you've wrapped it around there too well, you're stuck with toilet paper on a stick.
Did you really think it was going to fling toilet paper
Not
somewhere?
just toilet paper.
Yeah, poo-poo.
Used.
Yeah.
Probably. Although luckily I've had some pretty
Okay.
clean
anyway,
shits in the past since the surgery. I've been firing them out. Bidet does most of the work, and the big fingers just for touch.
You got a nice clean pinch.
Yeah, I got a good clean pinch.
It's good.
Little deuce poop. You don't know what I got?
Other than a clean pinch.
Got a clean pinch. Patreon.com. Thank you so much, guys. Like,
Freddie got that snapper.
if you want to know how I bought my wiping wand, it was thanks to Patreon.com.
you're keeping his butthole clean.
You guys keeping me living a quasi normal life.
So you're thanking the patrons for your clean butthole.
Gotta welcome Tadashi back, and Jimmy B
Yay! Thank
Thank
you.
you.
my
guys.
babies.
for rejoining the fray.
Freddie's butthole thanks you.
Yeah, and I even played piano this morning
With your butthole?
with my left hand.
With his wiping wand.
With the wiping wand. Kelly's grabbing fantasy boobs out of the air.
No, I was air bending.
Oh, you're an avatar.
So
Just I'm an amateur.
Amateur.
Avatar.
Yeah. Pro Av.
So yeah, patreon.com/NOTLP. We just posted New Origins,
Yeah.
which was a feedback episode that Andy said shut up to a lot and then was like, I couldn't even finish it. So listen if you want. I think our intro's fun.
Enjoy that. Your experience may differ from Andy's.
Andy hates this
I
show.
I feel like the more we dislike an episode, a certain segment of you guys are going to be like, that's the one to listen to. The more the crew hates it, it's probably hilarious.
I didn't hate it.
One would think.
It was just a long episode.
Hey, you know, back in the day, back
And
11 years ago, we
I
could
was-
be long-winded.
Yeah. You can be annoyed and not hate something, right?
This is true.
Yeah. Sure.
I guess that works. I'm
That's
just
what-
kidding.
I
Yeah,
think that's what being a parent is.
Also at Patreon, Topicana's there, and then Freddie's been doing Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah, we
Jason
just talked
Cretton.
about Dream Warrior, which we ended up in the weeds about that whole Dark Tower thing before. The director
Dream
of
Child.
Dream Child is what I meant. The director of Dream Child, who did Predator 2. Solid movie, by the way.
Whoa, Dream Child.
Dream Child's not a great movie. I don't think it's very good at all. But he's directing the TV version of Dark Tower. And the guy has had this great career in the meantime. Like a lot of good TV direction. And some good movies even, but like Dream Child was not one of them, in my humble opinion. Freddy versus Jason, though, we talk about Dream Child versus New Blood, the one with the psychic, telekinetic.
That's one of the Friday the 13th I like.
Really? It's maybe my least favorite in the whole bunch.
That's what everybody says.
That's so funny.
I think that's why I like it. Not because it's everybody's least favorite. I think because it was a different one that didn't necessarily do all the things that people liked about it. You know?
You like that it zigged.
I like that it zigged.
That's why I like Jason Goes to Hell, because it zigged.
Boy, did it zig, that one.
Love it so much.
I love the Jason Hunter in that one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into that.
Anyway, all that's at Patreon. So.
Yeah. Before,
What?
No, you go.
I just needed to say who day.
Who day?
Who day?
Fuck you, Tom Brady.
Fuck you, Tom Brady.
That was an exciting final quarter that I tuned in for.
My Christ, you guys don't even know, because I watched the whole fucking thing and it was such a shit show. But I have a lot of, you know what? I found myself having empathy for Tom Brady at the end. And I know.
No, you don't.
I still dislike him. But it's got to be hard when you reach, you're of an age, you're aging out of something. Because, you know, I feel it as a 42-year-old woman in this world.
I feel it as a
aging out of relevance. And that's got to be hard.
It does. On top of which, it's not necessarily even all his fault. He doesn't have, he's on a different team now, man. He doesn't have like the team he came from that he was used to how it worked. And I don't give a shit one way or another, but like, I do feel like that's, you get now he doesn't have what he had. So he's got, what has he got? Not what he had. I'm just doing wordplay now.
You mean all that extra knowledge, quote unquote, they seem to have?
No, he didn't have
when he was with the Patriots.
He didn't have a cheating coach. That's why.
That's whatever it was, he doesn't have it anymore. And now you can see.
Well, he's also like, he didn't have 10 years on him. Like back then.
Isn't it funny how 10 years ago we were all younger?
Can I also say,
10 years ago, your shoulder wasn't fucked up.
This is
other things probably were though.
Yeah,
Kelley.
It's also here's I think what's hard for Tom Brady. It's a different NFL than it was in the heyday of your long pass. Your real long pass throwing. Remember back then? That's all it was.
I remember when the football was just that vibrating metal sheet with all those plastic players on it.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
You remember that? You guys remember that?
How do they market that as an actual toy that worked? Because it didn't.
And you could watch it for a while, and eventually something would make it into an end zone.
We used to put quarters on it.
Yeah.
And anything that shook.
For my money, football doesn't get better than Tecmo Bowl on the NES.
Tecmo Bowl, good football game.
Yeah.
I've watched the last two Bengals games, because I had this feeling before that if I watched, they lost, because that's what happened at the beginning of the season. So I stopped watching. I would just follow along like on the internet. Now I've watched two games in a row and they've won. So now I think I'm stuck watching. Like I have to.
You're the good luck charm.
Now you have to.
I have
Look what
to.
you've done.
Every single thing.
Which I don't mind.
does.
I like watching, but it is very stressful. It's a stressful thing.
But it was nice. I thought I was super chill with it this time, and I think
you were? It wasn't all the Percocet just coursing through your veins?
There was something different.
He's so chill.
I was at ease, man. I was cool with whatever happened. I really enjoyed it, though. Like, I was like, God, it feels good to, like, there's just that soothing sound of football. There's something about it that is very much of the season, and it's like it's like listening to the birds in the springtime, you know? It's that same thing, listening to all those horrible ads and people bitching. Except it's beautiful.
I did not appreciate listening to Tony Romo and his fucked up voice, and and just berating the Bengals at every chance he gets.
Fuck you, Tony Romo. You irrelevant twat.
Was he berating them?
No, he was just very harsh on them. He was sucking Tom Brady's dick at any chance he got.
I didn't really notice that so much.
I didn't either.
I think I was more just like.
But fuck Tony Romo.
No, he just never gives the Bengals their due.
Yeah. Not a lot of people do, but they're starting to.
I don't either because I'm trained to.
We have major PTSD.
Be a suspect.
After like decades and decades of Bengals being Bengals.
Yeah.
Winning is a new feeling for us.
You go into the Bengals subreddit and it's just a bunch of guys questioning their sexuality for Joe Burrow. And I love that for them.
It is kind of weird though, like how that's all it took.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
all it
Like, these
takes.
guys are just like, I just wanted a winning football team and now I can tell my parents.
That's what it was.
Like, they just had to have a man
That old coming out chestnut.
that they could publicly lust after.
Yeah. You know what? You're not wrong. Think about it. Maybe football is a stand-in for a lot of men in that kind of they pat each other on the butt. They're very emotional. They work together.
I think Joe Burrow kind of looks like Jimmy Jr. from Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
See, he reminds me of like a Culkin. He's like the third Culkin brother.
Listeners, if you don't know who we're talking about, just Google Joe Burrow. It's very important to us, and you're just going to have to deal with it until the football season is over.
But
I think I want to get it. I think I'm going to drop money on a jersey. We'll see. I'm like giving it another game or two.
oh yeah, you're gonna do a Burrow jersey?
I think I want a hat. I want a foam finger.
I'm gonna get the wiper.
I want Joe Burrow's face on my asshole.
Well, again, apparently all these dudes.
All these dudes. Like a dude was like, I told my wife I'd let him spit in my mouth. Like these are the things these men are awakening
That's not
to.
necessarily sexual.
No.
It's interesting though. That's how quickly a lot of straight dudes they go there. They're just like, oh man, I'm gonna let him fuck me now. That my team's winning.
It's all it takes, huh? Just a winning season.
I'm just like, that was the
I'm
one
not
little
gay,
thing.
but a
I'm
winning
like,
football
oh.
team is a winning football team.
Yeah.
I want that T-shirt.
It's interesting.
Next time I'm in a tourist town, I'm going to get that $20 T-shirt.
Yeah.
You should.
I mean, I love seeing my team win, but I don't like. There's a missing step there for me that I can't seem to decipher.
I think it's just hyperbole.
Yeah.
I think it's the thing.
That's lost on me.
I think for them it's this is the one thing I could never be gay, but not like Joe. He's such a good quarterback that
It's not like
I would
they're ever
never
going to
do.
do it. It's
They
like
don't really. I didn't really mean that they were.
Well, they're putting
I
something
was
out.
being hyperbolic.
they're putting something out there that
Freddie.
would never happen.
Maybe I'm being
Because-
naive.
I think you're being drugged.
I'm on drugs.
He's on drugs.
You're being drugged.
You
I'm being
think
drugged.
that Joe Burrow would be
Been
like,
drugged.
yeah. You think he would take all these dudes up on their offer?
I don't think
He's like a baby, man.
he's a child.
He's 26.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
He
he's
looks-
also been playing football all that
Yeah.
time. Like
He's got
he hasn't
CTE.
really lived.
It's done and done. You know what I'm saying?
He's
That
a-
was
he's a
depressing.
little baby
to say.
boy. These men are like, I want to spit in that baby boy's mouth. I want that baby boy to spit in my mouth. I want to taste him.
We did at one. We had a whole bit going one day over here about it was one of the games they were losing at one point, and we were talking about at the half how he's going to go in and he's going to spank all their naughty little bottoms. Joe Burrow's going to spank everybody's naughty little bottom and
Naughty little bottoms.
tell them they were going to have to come out and do better, and then they did. And we were like, I guess he did spank all their naughty
would
little
that
bottoms.
Their little bottoms.
Would that be motivational for you?
I get him as a sex object. I do.
Him?
I
Like,
don't.
I
but it's
get
fine.
that part.
I get why.
No, I
But we were
think-
still just joking. I mean, no one here was like,
Yeah. But you know, it's more so these guys who are like looking for their out, who are like, I'm gonna fuck Joe Burrow, come hell or high water.
I don't. Anyway, who day?
It's so specific, you know.
And that's-
Anyways, yeah, football's fun, huh?
yeah, football is fun. Huh?
the American football or the European football?
All
All right, I guess the World Cup. That congratulations to Argentina.
I watched it actually.
Yeah,
Just because I like to be part of things.
did it feel exciting?
It was exciting.
Yeah.
I think it was an anomaly because I watched previous football games.
And they're very boring.
Yes.
Did they summarize it like previously on football? And then they show guys, they're like, go.
This was very fast paced and a lot of shots on goal.
They're kicking a lot.
Yes, they are. And it was exciting.
So it sounds like they were practicing before the tournament, probably pretty hard.
I mean, I still don't understand the rules. I don't understand why you can't just run up and just kick the ball wherever you want it.
It's just like Rocket League without the cars.
I don't even know. What's Rocket League?
It's a video game.
Oh, okay.
It's just like
Everything's
Pong,
always
but
a
without
video
the
game.
paddles. Same game.
It was
It's exactly like that.
Yeah.
The players just go up and down.
They just go up and down.
Yeah.
So that's NOTLP on sports.
Yeah, I know everybody wanted to hear that.
The world is crazy.
It's too crazy.
I had my work Christmas party and Freddie came with me to get him out of the house.
Yeah.
And we had a murder mystery as part of our work Christmas party. We did one of those games.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
had fun. I however was murdered. I was the victim.
Well, how did you die?
I was
She was strangled with garland.
With garland.
Twice.
How festive.
I was Amy's assistant and I was abused. She was abusing and blackmailing me.
And everybody in the room.
He's going to me to you.
But I'll tell you what.
Well, she's dead now.
Emotionally triggered a couple of times by being in character. Everybody's in character. Freddie said it to me, and somebody else, I can't remember who that I work with, came up to me. No preamble, just said, everybody in this room hates you.
Yeah. It like shook Amy. I'm like, Amy, it's make believe, honey.
Shook me to hear twice.
Well, but the funniest thing is,
It's like, it was an excuse, like, it's the game. It's not me.
I would just be like, ha 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 ha. Oh, did they mean it?
but then Amy started sweating. Like she was really
you know
like,
how I like to sweat.
she was sweating like it was all real. And I'm like, dude, I got to check on Amy. I think she's forgetting this is a fantasy game.
I'm gonna do that more often. I'm gonna go up to people. Everybody here hates me.
Everyone
I'm
hates
like,
you.
it's the game.
It's just the game, fool.
It's a game.
Her
I want
coworkers
that.
went all
I want to
out,
see
man.
that happen. I want to see that happen. That'd be amazing.
That's a good way to get,
I would-
to put people. You're a stupid bitch.
I would.
It's the game.
I would throw $2 in your saxophone case if you did that.
I mean,
It's like,
even
I'm a character.
Andy,
Even
you
if you
should just set
know-
up on a busking situation on the sidewalk with a saxophone case, and then when people walk by, you're like, everybody hates you, bitch.
They pretend like, click, click, click.
It's the game.
Yeah, it's just a game.
just a game.
You just need to learn one riff on the sax, so you can be like, and then you'd be like, everybody hates you, bitch. And then people will Kelley will throw $5 in there.
Oh,
$2. Come on now, don't
Yeah,
commit me to $2.
Kelly's in on it. He's in on it. He's the,
twofer.
he's the one that throws money in to let other people know that it's okay to give.
Oh, you're hustling.
Yeah.
Find the red
Everybody
lady.
in this room hates you. Every one of you would feel startled to hear that
So
Yeah.
did you
in
guys?
any context.
You guys solve the mystery.
Yeah.
But I mean, did you help at all? Because I mean,
She
you
was
got murdered,
dead.
right?
I got to guess, but I, was
solved
wrong.
it. I was the winner of the detectives. I was pretty proud, considering
You're amazing.
the pressure I was under,
The amazing.
being the only person in the room that didn't work for the company. Taking a prize from someone else's Christmas party.
Oh, fuck them.
Fuck that. We went when I first started, right around Christmas, 3 years ago. We went and did at work. We did an escape room, which I had never done before, and I still don't feel like I've done one because I just sort of sat down on the decorative couch. And Alyssa, she was rocking. She was helping.
Yeah.
Like she was an integral part of them solving the escape room. But I just sat down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done escape rooms. We did one when I was still working at my last job, and we did one where it was an extreme escape room where they put fucking bags over your head and kidnap you. And we woke I say we woke up. They didn't knock us out.
Wouldn't that be crazy if they did?
Yeah, but the reveal is we were all handcuffed to these fucking bed frames. It was insane. It was so
This was
crazy.
real? This happened?
Yes, it was real. And like I
would hate that.
We had two options. We had the extreme option and then the other one. And the funny part is like the mix of people that I worked with, like some of them were like super like conservative, button down types, and the fact that they were going to be hustled like blindfolded anywhere was hilarious to me. Because I'm like, this is most likely going to happen to somebody in like management at a financial institution anyway. So let's just rehearse.
Most likely?
Thing. Well, you know, people get kidnapped for real.
Yeah.
Like people have access.
You make it seem like it's pretty commonplace. Is it commonplace?
It's more
not
commonplace
here.
than you know. That's why they have those insurance policies for those executives and stuff.
Well,
It's so common, Andy. It's happening right now. Boom, boom. There's another one. Boom. There's another one. Merry
Every
Christmas.
30 seconds, a financial employee is kidnapped
Yep.
So I should
in
give
this
them,
country.
I should give them some sympathy because they have a very tough job. They're earning millions for.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they're also at risk of being kidnapped at any moment.
Constantly at risk of being kidnapped.
That's why they're compensated so well.
That's why Elon Musk didn't want that Twitter thing happening.
Oh, fuck him. No, seriously, every time like
I want him
hear
to
that,
eat my ass.
I hear that voice and I hear that name. I'm like, ugh.
Musk. Yeah, you should.
And
It's
you,
Musk.
I feel like Andy no longer has pay. Like you hear Tom Brady, you have that reaction. Elon Musk, that reaction. I think Andy is starting to just like, he's done.
His
done
default
with
is
certain
that
people.
reaction. Yeah.
And like, so, you know, I'm wondering who the next one.
Everybody in this room
Oh,
hates
you
you.
like Tom Cruise.
Yeah. I don't cringe.
Tom
at-
Cru-
I don't
Okay, so
cringe
he
on
is
here.
not at that level yet. So you could still hear Tom Cruise and not be like, "Oh, fuck him."
Yeah.
I feel like that's the cutoff. Like when saying the name makes Andy say, "Oh, fuck him,"
Yeah.
you know that person is like a lost cause entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree.
I mean,
I agree
yeah.
so far.
That guy's definitely, I think, a lost cause. I think he's proven that he's not all there, to put it lightly.
He's not a good businessman.
Yeah. And no one's going to want to kidnap him now.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to hang out with him for
They
any
don't want
length
to
of
spend
time.
any time with him. Yeah. I hope we didn't hurt anyone's feelings today. Just kidding. I don't give a fuck. You guys want to move on?
It's the game.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's the game, bitch!
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for straight-to-video Russian roulette. The U.S. Defense Department has spent over $1 trillion on the most cutting-edge robot technology, introducing RoboSanta Plus for the upcoming holiday season.
What are you going to do this fine Christmas Eve?
I was potentially gonna go meet up with a dude. I've blown him off twice already, so.
Come on, get a drink with your old pal, Robbie.
What's up with you two?
Just grabbing a drink.
I talk her out of some Tinder trash.
You didn't talk me out of anything. To Christmas! Humbug.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
New animatronic state-of-the-art Santa Claus, featured at our own TW Bunkers, is now the subject of an international recall.
Santa?
What? This guy killed the kid next door!
Oh,
You hear that?
For what?
I think you get the idea that there's a killer Santa Claus. Is that clear?
Killer robot Santa.
So
Claus.
Robot Santa. Oh man, this movie is not
What's it
for
called?
me, y'all.
What's it called?
It's called Christmas Bloody Christmas. It's real mean spirited. It is basically
Freddie, I can't
So
hear.
it's got the mean holiday spirit.
Never mind, I can't hear Kelly.
okay. Yeah, it's got the mean holiday spirit.
Real grinchy movie.
It's these two characters, and it's a lot of them. They work in like this. I'm just going to call it a cultural shop. I don't even know if it's a record store. It's like
It's a cultural shop, like
Yeah.
your basic everyday corner cultural shop.
It feels like a thousand places in Austin or Portland, or even here, you know, in Clifton. Like, it's those places where it's like a repository of cool.
Not a headshot, but next door to one.
Kind of like High Fidelity, like that record store in High Fidelity, kind of. Like, it's a little bit more than it's just a place for these two gatekeepery, hipstery kind of characters to talk about bad dates they're going on Tinder and really just fucking berate each other's tastes aggressively. It's a movie that brags about how often people swear in the dialogue, as if that was like an achievement of some kind. And and I don't know if I'm on drugs right now, so I'm probably being a little more blunt than I would normally about something like this.
Is it edgelordy?
It felt that way to me. It's colorful. The town looks great when they kind of.
I do like colors.
Lots of red, lots of
bright colors, green and red, like Christmas colors. Yeah. I mean, there's no real connective tissue between why this Santa is malfunctioning, why it's killing people. A lot of it is a will they, won't they between the two main characters, where she has a Tinder date that she's decided.
Is that the guy? Is one half of that the guy that convinced her not to go on a Tinder date?
Yeah,
basically. I didn't like that line of dialogue. It made it sound like he sounded like a creep to me.
Yeah,
like, I don't want this girl to go on any dates with any other guys. I'm going to convince her not to because I'm going to get my greedy little paws on that honey pot.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's just kind of like they're very unlikable characters. Like, they
sounded unlikable. My goodness, and I couldn't even see it.
Like, oh, Andy, was that your butt or your mouth?
I tried to squeeze that out, and
it was a fart.
You farted.
Okay,
you may or may not hear it, listener.
I think that sums up how I feel about this movie pretty well. I'm surprised it is getting some and I think part of it's just me being too old for it. In a lot of ways, where I'm just sick of this dynamic. I don't, these 20-somethings that work in these hipster environments where they are in charge of all this cultural material, like albums and
cultural material
and video cassettes of films.
Cultural shop?
What do you sell here? I sell culture.
And like, they have
that
strong
makes them
opinions.
sound like the Vulcan priests that are in charge of all of Vulcan culture.
Yes.
Like
It is. It's like one of the characters has a strong opinion on Pet Sematary 2, like a strong opinion on Pet Sematary 2. And I'm like, why is that part of the dialogue in this movie?
Is it culture.com? They sell culture?
Yeah, they sell culture. It feels like if Ain't It
it's
Cool
Culture
News
Club
became like a character.
If what?
So, Ain't It Cool News became two different characters, and they both want to have sex with each other, but they want to just yell at each other a lot first.
Is that where the meanness is? The characters are just jerks and assholes?
They're jerks, but also like the movie itself is kind of mean-spirited. Like, they kill a kid in one scene, and it's really like just pointless. Like, it's the neighbor's kid. I'm just like, it's real violent, but that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But the issue I have with it is this 30-minute front load, which I know the hypocrisy here of what we just did opening the show.
But that's what we do.
But like, literally, like, it's not what I wanted out of a slasher movie. I don't like that front load was just a little too much for me. I would have liked some more direction in who these characters were. Instead of them both being, it seems like they're coked out of their minds. Like, they talk a mile a minute.
That could be the Percocet talking.
Breakneck subject changes, and it's always something like, "Oh, Pet Sematary 2 is superior," and that's the big fight they're gonna have. But then they're like drinking real hard again. And I'm like, all these people do is like fucking. I mean, it's what people probably thought we did the first few years we did the podcast, where they think we're just pounding like shot after shot of booze and like making breakneck turns from one subject to another about this movie or that movie or this thing.
We were raised on Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, this movie is like
and Gilmore Girls.
Oh man, it'll just make you really take stock of things of your life.
I really made you that mad.
I really disliked it a whole lot. Like I said, there's going to be people out there that our listeners of the show, they're going to love this movie. I think it's a very particular thing, but to me, it was if I weren't watching it for the show, I would have turned it off before the end of the first act.
At any point in your life, would you have liked this? Or is it because you're older and like you've grown out of it?
I probably, in the desperate days of there not being a lot of horror movies to pick from, there just being a Christmas horror movie sometimes was enough. So, but in this day and age, with all this culture that is just laid upon the shelves for us to enjoy.
Stream culture now.
You can stream it. You don't even have to go to a specialty shop.
I mean, at one point we were like a really mean show too. So I think.
Oh, it's very much stuff I'm personally ashamed of. I see him. I see myself in these characters in a way I don't like.
This movie is on us.
What's that?
I said this movie is based on us.
This movie is like, it feels like baby photos of your worst drinking years. Like if you got to see like a video of yourself like hanging out when you were 25 years old and drunk and really fired up over something stupid, like that's 30 minutes of it. And then the payoff is really not worth it anyway. I mean, it's just like,
it sounds like it just wasn't for you because people are still like that.
Yeah.
And we just aged out of it.
Oh, this movie though, I don't think it's entertaining for people who are like that either. I think if I was still like that and watch this, I would still be irritated with it.
Yeah, it sounds like something I would never have liked. I don't think I would have ever liked this.
And also the laziness of just it being a malfunctioning robot. It makes no fucking. There's no reason for anything that happens in this movie.
How are the effects and the kills? Are they?
They're fun because they're practical and they do like rubber prosthetic heads and stuff, which I enjoyed. So from the kill elements, like that stuff was fun. It worked in as much as they were like, oh, we're gonna do these great gory kills and that's fun. But like, why can't you put any more into the rest of it? Like I see that you took all this time to try to do with a low budget, like make these really elaborate rubber prosthetic recreations of like a cast member's head for an effect. But you will not write a script for the first 30 minutes of your movie and just have these two characters rave and rant at each other at fucking full velocity. Like, it feels like your priorities were maybe like either out of whack or you just didn't even care about the material part of the movie at all. You just wanted to get to your effect shots and your visuals, your setups for your effect shots. It did feel very much motivated to get to the next thing, the next kill or the next action sequence, and they were okay.
We watched the Joe Bob Ghoultide, whatchamacallit, on Friday night. And he played A Christmas Horror Story. Was that what it was called?
That was the second movie.
Yeah, which you raved about. So
I love that movie.
That's a newer Christmas horror movie with Shatner.
Yeah, it came out like maybe 5 years ago or so. That's got the guy who did Ginger Snaps. If you want a good Christmas horror movie, definitely check out A Christmas Horror Story. That one's really good.
And then we the first movie was Don't Open Until Christmas, which was fucking bananas.
I had a blast with that. I'd never seen that before.
So it turned out to be bananas when you opened it?
It was fucking bananas.
They just gave them bananas?
And I'm like, what do I look like? A chimpanzee?
Oh, don't answer that. Ew.
Was it good though? You enjoyed it?
Don't Open Till Christmas? Yeah, it's a weird... Well, you know what? It's no weirder than Silent Night, Deadly Night, or any of that shit.
To me, it felt like it had
it's a little bit weirder.
As messy as it was, like I was really kind of fucking intrigued every step.
The 80s?
Yeah, although it feels like the 70s is English.
Everybody in the movie committed suicide.
Yeah,
like
it is weird.
3 fucking main actors in the movie committed suicide.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Like it almost feels cursed because
feels like a cursed movie.
It's like 3 movies that kind of got stitched together almost because of the production problems, right? And what he was saying. But that one's actually pretty good. If you've never seen Don't Open Till Christmas, it's like feels like that old show Thriller. It's like feels like an English thriller TV movie almost, but it's not a TV movie. It's very graphic.
I felt some kind of need to balance out Freddy's negative review with some fun stuff we watched.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's in the same genre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry it made you so mad.
It didn't make me mad. It's just like, it's not. I didn't really want to spend my
his remaining years.
My remaining years
not for you. It's okay. It's not for you.
It sounded like it made you feel a certain way, like brought you down.
No, I mean it wasn't powerful enough to affect my mood in any real way. It was just more. It
just didn't work for you, right?
It just didn't work. It was in that respect, it bummed me out that I could have spent 90 minutes doing something else.
Well,
wiping.
That's probably how long it would take in my current state.
So next week or next time we have a regular show. The movie will be My Best Friend's Exorcism.
Oh, cool.
Which is it's based on a Grady Hendrix novel, which I have read and really liked. In this darkly comedic horror thriller set in 1988, teen best friends Abby and Gretchen grapple with an otherworldly demon that takes up residence in Gretchen's body. It's on Amazon Prime.
All right.
Let's see. We're spinning the wheel.
Amazon.
Amazon. Fine meats.
Oh.
Me.
It's Andy.
Andy. The new year, probably.
You're my best friend. And now you're going to watch a movie called My Best Friend's Exorcism.
I've heard mixed things.
Yeah, I have too.
It has the girl from 8th grade. I like her.
Oh,
she is great.
And the Texas Chainsaw remake.
Yeah.
She was good at that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right. We'll be right back with the main attraction, I guess, huh?
I guess.
If we don't
coming. From the deep, dark recesses of the mind of Mel Brooks. I love him. Young Frankenstein.
Life, you hear me? Give my creation life!
Sky means business. Starring Gene Wilder as Dr. Frankenstein.
That's Frankenstein.
Peter Boyle as the monster.
Wow!
Marty Feldman as Igor.
My grandfather used to work for your grandfather.
I'm sure we'll get along splendidly. Oh!
Cloris Leachman as Frau Blucher. And Madeline Kahn as Elizabeth.
What are you going to do to me? I'm not afraid of you.
Kill the monster!
See Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein.
Yes, I think we could all use a good laugh.
But don't see it alone. Don't miss Young Frankenstein, personally directed by Mel Blazing Saddles Brooks, in black and white. No offense.
No offense. I love this movie.
Me too. This is another one that I watch with my dad all the time. This is one of his favorites. He used to quote it all the time. And he would always do that line about could be worse. How? Could be raining. And then he would make a thunder sound. But I can watch this movie anytime and just fall right into it.
We talked about this before, and I think the first time Amy saw it a while back, we were talking about how this could just be a sequel to the Frankenstein movies because it's
honestly,
so good.
It's almost a little subtle for, parodies and such and these satires. Well, I guess as somebody who grew up with the fucking Farrellys and the Wayans is.
I hated this movie.
Yeah,
I know. It's
Kelley went in the room for it.
It's considered a classic, right?
Is this the first time you've seen it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was really surprised. I think I just don't like Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever liked any of his movies.
It's not for everyone, that's for sure.
I just didn't. Where were the jokes? It was
very subtle.
It was just so gentle and the jokes were there, but not really. I don't know.
Yeah, to me, it's more like characters. The jokes come out of the interactions. It's more about the characters behaving like real people, but in a Universal monster movie.
It was just not funny enough to be a comedy for me, and not horror enough to be a horror.
He hated it, Kelley. He hated it. Kelley had to leave the room.
What?
For a second. Yeah,
I didn't hate it. I was just very.
You just said you hated it.
I know. I was very bored by it. I would never watch this again. It was just not for me.
This to me is this is a great. And I heard as I was getting up a second ago to check on my dog, I heard Amy say, as a parody goes, it was subtle, and I feel like you have. Your Zucker. I'm not saying you are one or the other.
No, I love the Zucker brothers. I think
the Zucker brothers, is one thing, and this is the other. And I am firmly on the Mel Brooks over Zucker. Some people are not. I bet Freddy likes them both about equally. Would you say?
Well, if I'm looking for laughs per minute, I go Zucker. If I'm looking for a movie that is actually like a well-crafted movie, I go Mel Brooks. Yeah, they're both strong in different ways.
I like the brothers in parodies, like the Wayans brothers or Zucker brothers. I need brothers.
You need brothers. Property brothers.
Smothers.
Fairly brothers.
Exactly. Just watching this movie, I felt like I was amused. But the jokes never made me like, ha 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 ha.
No, it's definitely not laugh
It's not
out
a
loud.
big laugh out loud movie.
Like, even that.
I laughed a lot out loud.
But yeah.
It has moments, but I think for the most part, like, again, like for me, it's more about the idea of Frankenstein's descendant being so ashamed that he goes by Frankenstein. That to me is hilarious.
It's those weird little moments.
Do you feel like you were surprised by it? Like you were expecting Zucker and you got this?
No, not even that.
I was. No,
like
I've
seen other Mel Brooks movies, and I feel like the jokes were more
Spaceballs for sure. More
obvious in your face, and this was just like you said, too subtle for me, and I didn't know if it was a joke or not they were doing.
Right.
Are you a fan of the source material, like the Frankenstein?
No, I love Frankenstein's. Like, I think his humor is just too old-fashioned for me.
Where do you stand on Dead and Loving It?
Oh, I've never seen that. Is it?
I feel like you might like that more because it's like this, but with more jokes. Like it's more deliberately like throwing things at you.
It's like,
which is funny. That is one of my least favorite Mel Brooks movies.
Yeah.
This being closer to the top.
Yeah, this is my favorite.
I acknowledge it was very well made. It looked like a Universal movie.
It's a lot of the original set pieces.
So faithful to the look.
But the jokes just didn't hit for me. It was like watching a New York comic strip become a movie.
I get you.
You know, it was just
too vaudeville.
He's in the Catskills.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, how did I get here? I live in Cincinnati in 2022. Why am I in the Catskills in the 30s? Is that what you felt?
It was just. I need obvious humor. I mean, maybe I'm just like very lowbrow like that. And
he's just, what Andy is. He's a doofus.
He's a man of the people.
See,
he's a
enjoy
doofus.
the passive aggressive
way. You guys
way
are gallants.
That Igor became Igor because he was trying to teach. Yeah. Like it's that sort
That's
of
one of the things I love. Like because that doesn't feel necessarily vaudevillian to me. I feel like that's a great dry sarcasm. Like I love he's like, oh, you're going by Frankenstein. No, shall I call you Froderick? And I love that he doesn't ever pick up on it. You know, he never picks up on Igor being sarcastic, and like it's just funny to me.
The ball busting's great.
Excuse me.
I chuckled, but I was like, it's not going to stick with me. Like, just
no. I totally get it, Andy. You don't have to defend your argument. Your feelings on this are actually pretty common.
It's just it goes into my insecurity because I know like Mel Brooks in this movie is considered a classic, and for me, like I just don't see it.
Well, if you talk to anybody under the age of like 40, they're probably gonna have the same reaction. And I feel like this movie is so specifically for people that both already liked Universal Monsters and already liked Mel Brooks. Like I think if you came into this completely dry with obviously if you weren't like deeply entrenched in one or both of those other things, then this movie just plays as a weird movie.
I don't know. I feel like that might be I feel like this has got a lot of broad appeal. I mean, it appeals to more people than just those groups. You know what I mean? I feel like this had it was a hit. It was a big hit.
Well, yeah, at the time, but that's 74, right? So like I'm just thinking like I don't know that this movie is as timeless as it feels for me or
now that may be true. I'll agree with that, but I feel like it does have a broader appeal even than just the people who are specifically into Universal Monsters or Mel Brooks.
I think it's got some smart stuff too, like the science as entertainment. It kind of reminded me of like that. Like when they come back and he's doing the presentation and it's this glamorous thing and Terry Garr standing backstage all excited for them to present his findings. And it's
that was a little bit of King Kong, I think too. Like I don't think I picked up on the King Kong part until this time around. Like that was very much the revealing Kong in New York City.
Yeah, definitely that. But also, like they did when Brain Candy came out, the Kids in the Hall movie, there's a similar moment where he's on the daytime talk shows talking about the Gleamanex, the anti-depression drug, and they make him, the scientist, stand up and dance for everybody and wiggle his hips. Like, wiggle your little hips. Like, this was that, for me, this is that scene in Young Frankenstein where they do this big putting on the Ritz, when it's really supposed to be him presenting to all these other scientists. So like you can see kind of how this influenced like Matt Groening's work, and that same kind of those moments where it's not about just jokes, it's about scenarios and like the absurdity of taking characters who aren't really supposed to be presented in these forums and reshaping them and reframing them, and that is where the joke is. Like that stuff still works for me a lot.
And the reaction of the crowd when like the monster is startled, perfectly naturally by a popping light. And then everyone acts like he murdered someone on stage because he's the monster. They immediately turn on him for just getting startled. I love that. That was really funny.
I think my favorite moment in the movie is the encounter with Gene Hackman, who I always forget that's Gene Hackman. That's Alyssa. This is like her favorite. That's like the best part. Gene Hackman is the blind villager. It's not just that there are great gags with him pouring like hot soup and the monsters laugh.
It's his portrayal.
Yeah, he's like really playing the shit out of that character.
He is. You feel he seems like such a nice, genuine person.
His performance is so good.
I mean, I appreciate that scene where Frankenstein is the straight guy, the straight man, and somebody else is the buffoon. And I like how the tables were turned on that.
Yeah.
But again, it was just like, that's funny. I'm amused.
You feel like you just watched an old episode of Dennis the Menace, and you're like, oh, I see. He's getting on Mr. Wilson's nerves.
That's all right. I like New Yorker cartoons too. Maybe I'm just I'm just pretentious.
Maybe he's just a little sophisticated, Andy, and you're not.
I'm pretty dumb. I mean, I admit it.
No, you're wonderful.
I'm very lowbrow.
You're completely wonderful.
I don't know if I would call this highbrow.
No, it's not. But I think I was really struck by how good Gene Wilder is.
Oh, he's always good.
He's so fucking good. I'm not a huge Willy Wonka fan. I don't really care for those movies or that story all that much. I'm sorry. See, that's my thing where it's like somebody wants
it's super whimsy.
Let's watch Willy Wonka. No, I don't care and I don't want to. Sorry.
It's okay. I'm not going to pressure you to watch the Wonks.
But in this, he's just so good.
But he's so good at playing like subtle jerks.
He just finds the humor. Him and Steve
Willy
Martin.
Wonka was the same way, and this character.
His timing is really great. Yeah.
I think
timing is
like
so good.
The heir to Gene Wilder for me is Steve Carell. Like I think he pulls that same type of vibe out of a performance. Like the way he can kind of like seem kind of like an innocent.
They seem so harmless and innocent. But there's like this undercurrent of
rage,
and selfishness.
But also that he might be smart. He might be the smartest guy in the room too. But he also is like
a bit of a buffoon,
scared of it. Well, like also he's aware that you can't admit you're the smartest guy in the room. Kind of like because it might start to fall apart. If that makes any sense. I'm on drugs again. I have to keep saying that. But like I love that about. I feel like Gene Wilder has like this. It is very much like the only other person I can think of is Steve Carell that has that same quality where he can just kind of zone in on what another actor is doing and pull the reaction that you want the audience to have out of that whatever he's doing. And then you're like, oh, I see. Okay, this is an awkward situation because of the way he's interpreting it. He's like my way of viewing all the jokes,
I would say Marty Feldman as Igor. Some of that kind of winky stuff, the meta stuff, I was like, I don't think we need all this.
Walk This Way is pretty great, though.
No, Walk This Way is great. I had an old coworker, man, so long ago. I'm talking like 20 years ago. And she used to do that with her customers as I worked at a furniture store.
She have a little cane?
No, but she would walk funny through the showroom, and she'd go walk this way, and they'd follow, and her customers would follow her.
They would do it.
Darlene was hilarious. Yeah.
Like
I've seen couples just follow her and do the funny walk.
And do the funny walk.
Because
what
because she's
fucking
adorable.
power? What fucking power?
Well, she was a tiny older white lady.
It's funny that you didn't get a lot of people going, I'm sorry, what? Can you explain to me why we're doing this? And
it's a different time.
And she'd be like, young Frankenstein, you idiot.
20 years ago.
It was more than 20 years ago.
But
probably.
according to the IMDb trivia, Walk This Way is responsible for Walk This Way.
The song?
Yes. Isn't that crazy?
I love the build-up.
So you can't be that mad at this movie because I love that.
It gave us that. Yeah, I love that song. I will say another criticism I have of this. It was very long.
How long is it?
An hour and 45 minutes.
Andy had that ready to go.
Yes,
he was
because I kept pressing the button. It's like seeing how much time I had left. And it was like 40 minutes into it, and they hadn't introduced Frankenstein yet. I mean, Frankenstein's monster. I'm sorry. Ugh.
Peter Boyle. Abby Normal.
It's like the scenes just went on for like that scene with the bookcase. They're doing the candle bit.
Put the candle back.
I just felt it just went on forever.
See, I still laugh at just someone saying "put the candle back."
I do too.
I liked it when he got smashed and was like trying to talk through like the crush, like being crushed. But the candle bit, come on, just go in the damn hallway.
Frau Blucher. And there should be horses freaking out.
I like that. I like the running joke of the horses just whinnying every
Are
time
they
they say her
whinnying
name. Yeah.
because the joke is she looks like a horse, she's ugly, or they're afraid of her?
I think they're afraid of her.
It's like it's that old thing from the the old movies. It's to create foreboding about a character.
Yeah.
Well, they put a big mole on her face. I think that was all they needed to do.
But the great buildup is when they get into the third act and she's like, yes, he's my boyfriend.
He was my boyfriend.
I love that. That was a great, the words boyfriend coming out of that character's mouth was enough of a payoff for me where I didn't need all the little jokes, but the buildup of having like the first two acts of the movie, Frau Blucher is this really intimidating, possibly evil character. They're not sure. And then she says, he was my boyfriend. And that's the big reveal with the thunder and the lightning.
And then, in a black and white Universal movie type, to hear it said that way, it's a great moment.
But I get it's not enough for a modern audience. Like, that is not enough jokes. Like, if you wrote a comedy like this today, it would probably not go over because you can't set up a 60-minute setup to a joke. And that'd be like one of the big payoffs in your movie.
That's true, but I don't blame the movie.
Well, I didn't even know
it was time.
I didn't even know it was a joke until you guys explained it because I think I had checked out at that point.
Oh yeah,
Andy's too modern.
I'd lost you by then.
Andy, he's
Andy
like,
is thoroughly modern Andy.
Thoroughly modern Andy. He's like the stainless steel appliances of the world. Modern, sleek,
shiny.
How hard did your eyes roll when she's like, roll, roll, roll in the air?
I like that part because it was just so absurd and just cute. But there was other jokes where it was like the part where like the platform. He's like, elevate me, and she's like, oh, I don't like, right here. And it's like, no, the platform.
Yeah.
I kind of roll my eyes at that because
I get it.
Who would confuse elevate with being sexual?
Right.
True.
Terry Garr would.
Freddie had a crush on Terry Garr.
I did.
But she's a very cute lady.
Yeah.
Just
back in the Mr. Mom days.
Yeah, very pretty.
Yeah.
She's like the only person in this movie that's still alive.
Yeah.
And Mel Brooks and her.
Gene Hackman's alive, isn't he?
Oh shit.
Isn't
he?
I think Gene
I don't know.
Still alive.
Oh God, is Gene Hackman still alive? Sorry if we killed you prematurely, sir. We did not mean to.
So
yes, he is still alive.
Is Mel Brooks still alive? Or
Yeah,
he
he's still alive.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
My God, how old is he?
He's almost 100.
They're in their 90s.
Good for them.
Yeah, it's true.
But
old men.
I'm really curious now for Andy to see Dracula Dead and loving it.
That's Leslie Nielsen, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen History of the World?
Yes, I did not like that either.
Oh, I liked that
It's
one.
like I said, I think just Mel Brooks isn't just not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Men in Tights.
I like that.
I love that movie.
That's Mel Brooks?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I have not seen that since it came out, though.
Yeah.
I like that one. I remember not being super impressed with Spaceballs either. I loved it as a kid.
Yeah.
You mean when we revisited it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to me, again, I pretty much fall more on the Zucker brothers side myself, just because I will laugh more watching their movies. Especially like, we pulled out Top Secret last time we went camping, and I laughed my ass off again every time.
Is that Mel Brooks?
No, that's Zucker brothers.
Okay.
That's one of the Zucker brothers, I believe. They may have been split up at that point. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's one of them.
Orville.
You can't listen to me. I'm a little high.
Now I will say, as much as I love this, Blazing Saddles is my favorite Mel Brooks. This to me does not match the level of funny that Blazing Saddles hits, but
Blazing Saddles has a lot more bits in it too. There's a lot more jokes. Like this movie is almost this. Like I said, I feel like this could have been
straight.
Yeah, it was played very straight until it wasn't.
Yeah.
One, it's only like this was like one of his earlier, big. This how many parody? He'd only really done High Anxiety before this, right? As a parody.
Oh, was that before this? I couldn't remember.
I'm not even sure if it was before this, but I feel like this was either like maybe the first one or very close. So maybe, it hadn't quite found the joke level that everybody wanted.
I mean, they had the hump moving on Igor's back. That was like the sort of thing you could expect. But you could also expect them moving things without even like indicating to the audience that it was happening. And they're like, that's good enough. That's going to be funny. And if you're not really like totally enraptured in watching the movie, you're going to miss some things that, it is for men of a certain age, maybe.
You're not that much older than me.
No, I mean like this movie
2
might be for
years.
men that are older than even us.
This might be.
Like Mel Brooks' age.
Like people like men in their 60s and 70s.
I appreciate the craftsmanship.
The greatest generation.
The attention to detail of what they were riffing on, I really appreciated.
I still love it. I'll watch it.
Yeah, I love
the hell out of it.
Malencon, man. Shit.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, she's awesome in every respect.
She wouldn't let him. She was saying goodbye to him on the train platform. I always love that. She's like, just wouldn't let him touch her, no matter what. Nails.
But man, she met Peter Boyle. She was
That's right.
Go.
Good
Size
show.
queen.
It was because he had a big schwanz.
And please don't come after me, listeners. I feel like it's...
Oh,
I don't
Andy.
feel like this is the young Frankenstein fan base.
Well, and
They're
also
all tired.
Mel Brooks' fan base too.
They're playing with their
he's
grandkids.
so revered
Yeah.
that, like, to say that a fan of his, like, is like, oh, how dare you?
They're gonna put down their butterscotch pudding, and they're gonna like start. They're gonna be like, "How do I fire up Twitter on this thing?" And they're gonna be like, "Pappy, that's a record player."
Well, nice try, because I'm not on Twitter anymore. I deleted my account.
Well, there you go. You're safe then. You're safe. They're gone from here.
From their pitchforks and torches.
Yeah.
You're gonna be all right. All right, so we did it. Parody's nuts.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
I think I was mostly coherent.
Yeah, you did great.
I was a little
Honestly, I did a
self-conscious
good job.
about
I
doing
couldn't-
this with the.
I couldn't tell.
You couldn't? Okay.
No.
Are you saying I'm always a mess?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, thank you. At least I'm consistent.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Amy's going to read our Beelzebubs. I want to thank everybody who's reached out because of the surgery. You've all been super sweet, especially Andy right here in the room with me has been especially sweet. He's been bringing us food.
I got a stuffed
Taking care of
freezer and
us.
fridge right now.
It's made things so much easier.
Got a cow in the front yard.
Got a whole ass cow.
You guys are the best.
So again, patreon.com/NOTLP. You can be a Beelzebub and then I'd say your name every week. I'm just going to read these. Alise.
Hi.
Alyssa. Branan and Emily. Jeffel. Dustin. Iona Goodwin. And a great one. Dr.
What?
Brian. Bill. AKA Jerk Bitch Boat. I don't want want to call you that anymore. I keep saying that. We got to come up with something.
You say that every week, but you still say it.
I know.
That's his name. I'm sorry.
I know.
It just is.
Bill Farner. Blake.
Young Frank and Bill.
Blayne. Yogurt. Jordan Ash Jeans. Paul. Jeremy, Cassie, and Gamora. Ernie. Dave Siebert. And Monica.
Very good.
Them's the people.
Them's the people.
Holidays, right?
Happy whatever. Have a happy week.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Happy whatever.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourselves. Who day?
Yeah. Get your freak on.
All right. Bye. Everybody.
Bye.